TIFU by passing out from Viagra on a first date. Last night I, 28M, booked a hotel to hook up with this really cute chick I met on Bumble. Long story short, this was my first hookup in over 6 years, so I was feeling quite a bit nervous about the whole thing. To the point that I was experiencing some ed in the days approaching the date, which had never happened to me before. I told my closest friend about the situation, and he gave me a 25 mg Viagra, advising I cut it in half and take it for about 30 minutes before hooking up. Well, the moment arrives and I take it. I decided not to tell my date to avoid the obvious embarrassment of ed. But instead of hooking up right away, we decided to go grab a drink. We're sitting at the bar while chatting and sipping cocktails, when I start noticing my face get flush. I ignore it and continue the convo. Pretty soon I start feeling dizzy. The oxygen starts to be sucked out of the room. I have a history of vasovagal syncope, so I know the signs of when I am about to pass out. I took 2 steps off the bar stool and collapsed onto the restaurant floor. I wake in a pile of sweat seeing her and this big guy standing over me. They both help me sit in a booth with my legs elevated, and a waitress brings me some water. Obviously I was quite embarrassed, but I tried my best to own up to the sheer absurdity of the situation by cracking jokes while I recovered. Luckily this chick was super cool about it, but understandably we did not have sex after that. We just went back to the hotel and smoked some weed, ate Taco Bell, talked, and watched documentaries, which was honestly pretty chill and fun on its own. TLDR. Don't take Viagra on a first date, or without talking to a doctor first. Half a 25 mg Viagra didn't do that to you unless you're on other meds or have some other medical history. It wasn't the Viagra. 12.5 mg isn't even considered a dose. 25 is low, 50 mid, 100 high, 200 is very high. Second, that's not how it works. Wasn't the alcohol unless you had 10 drinks. Lol. Anxiety. Glad she didn't give you a hard time after all that. I know the signs of when I am about to pass out. Passes out on the floor. Maybe listen to the signs next time. Lol. Could have been worse. Could have been pitching a tent while you were passed out. I mean, first off, I wouldn't have had sex at that point, regardless. Secondly, if she hung out and you guys had a chill evening, that's a good sign. Glad you are okay. I am curious though, did you have a boner when you woke up in the booth with your legs elevated? Did your date and the guy who helped pick you up off the floor see it? I'm sorry you booked a hotel for a first date. Bold. But are you guys meeting up again? You're 28. You shouldn't need Viagra. Just own up to your nervousness and get them off with other methods. And if a new partner gets mean about it, then it's a bullet dodged. Drinking while taking Viagra was probably the first issue. Melting face. IDK, you said you felt nervous, and the fact that emotions trigger this for you feels like you thought about this to the point where you were triggered and passed out. The answer's right under your nose, my friend. I tried it once. Not sure, but maybe 20 mg. Had a couple drinks and was messing around in a hot tub when I began to feel faint. Later I read somewhere that the heat can do a number on you. Not to mention the alcohol. Were you feeling overheated at all in the bar? Sounds more like a panic attack. Adding more drugs to the mix after passing out, nice. Would she have been impressed if you passed out but had a raging boner? Tip for the future. Get a juicer and make watermelon juice. Include the rinds. Nature's Viagra minus you risking your heart. I've taken Viagra and had the same flushing. I don't take it anymore because of that. You had a reaction to it. Don't mix alcohol and medication, bro. That's what you should have learned from this.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.